neighbor has started a petition to vote me out of my own neighborhood. Yes, exile me out, because she doesn't think that I should be allowed to water my tomato plants in a bikini top if her husband's outside. I should respect other people's marriages. Yeah. Now, when I told her I wasn't responsible for her husband's extracurricular eyeballs, she didn't like that, and she thought, oh, that's war. First, she tried to get my husband involved. When she realized that wasn't going to do anything, she moved on to our HOA. I married into the HOA, okay? My father-in-law was head of the board. So her submitting photos of me in a bikini top watering my tomato plants didn't really strike a nerve with him. That man walked in on me 2 spicy cubes deep, feeling like Little Caesar's pizza, waiting for his son to get home. Me in a bikini is the least of that man's worries. That didn't work. So what'd she do? She called the popo on a hoe. She called the popo on a hoe, talking about, they show up, they tell me that I have been accused of stalking. Stalking a man. Apparently, a man in my neighborhood, her husband, apparently to Martha's head, watering your tomato plants in a bikini top is considered surveillance. Now, whenever the police were here and Martha winged her way over here with her binder of evidence, they realized several have flew over the cuckoo's nest. They realized what she was dealing with, what we were dealing with, what was happening, because it immediately switched from me being a stalker to Martha. And Martha didn't like that. Now she's the one under investigation. So we had an HOA meeting yesterday. And her husband decided to show up before the HOA meeting because he really didn't like the fact that Martha was being investigated. Mind you, this man has never came over to my house. But he showed up and he had a box of evidence. There was a few things in said box. She had stolen some of my mail. She had stolen a couple of my packages. And she also had a petition to vote me, exile me out of the neighborhood, right? Martha had claimed in said petition that my tomato garden was a distraction tactic, accused me of targeting married men. There were more photos labeled evidence of me gardening. But somehow, Martha's HOA presentation was somehow worse than the evidence she had presented to the police. Her slogan is, she is using landscaping as a loophole, ladies. Apparently, she's tracked my watering schedule, and it perfectly aligns with husband's lunch hours and when they get home from work in the evening. During our HOA meetings, there's a point in time where we can all stand up and, you know, if we have a case against something we want changed in the neighborhood, speak her truth. And that's when she brought this up. Martha has said that she has consulted 3 Facebook groups, and they're all deeply concerned about me. I'm a public nuisance to the neighborhood. Martha stood up in front of the entire HOA and revealed the reason she thinks I'm outside gardening so much. When I tell you, the room sat silent. She brought a chart talking about why tomatoes, or how tomatoes are part of this long plan for me to manipulate her husband. People are never going to believe what Martha's chart was tracking. Apparently, she's been documenting every single time I stepped outside to water my plants and every single time her husband blinked in my direction. She not only stood up and asked the HOA if I could be required to post my watering schedule, but also if it was too much to ask for me to move my garden away from her husband's eyesight. She then asked for permission to pass around her petition on me, which is already diabolical within itself, but you'll never believe what her husband actually had to say to the HOA board.